Hello, my Teaserking family. Welcome to economics class. Hope everybody's having a nice day or night, wherever you are. I am fine. Luke, I hope you can text today and it'll go through. Football, I posted a lot of college games. I think 3 locks. That's 6. It's actually 6 locks. So I look at it differently. If I like a team and I lock it, it's one team, that's a lock. And then I put it in 2 or 3 teasers with other teams that are potential locks. So each lock I do is really 2-team lock, or two teams that I'm locking. Most people aren't understanding that. All right. So I had dinner, went to the pool, and I am back. Gold, 26.56, down $4 today. Silver 32.03. Again, this is paper derivative gold. This is not real. This is not physical. Physical is much higher. I was talking to a guy at the club. We're in the locker room after showering, getting dressed, and we start talking about gold, and he's interested. So I go, "Oh, I can talk to this guy. He seems to want to hear." And the simplest way I do it is I say, the paper's printed and the gold can't be. He's from China. He's probably a Chinese spy, I would imagine. I imagine everybody from China who's here is a spy. And he, where do I buy it? I told him the jewelry store. And he's like, he's got to buy it. I says, well, you got 3 weeks, so you better buy it soon. Anyway, that's what people got to understand is it's very, very limited and very, very highly in demand. So you've got to realize that, and you've got to buy it now before, because realize on the 22nd when BRICS makes the announcement, it's gold-backed currency rolling it out. The dollar's gone. It might not figuratively be gone everywhere, but it is worthless at that point. It's already worthless now, but you got to understand. So you got to get on your lifeboat. And when you see this 26.56 in the COMEX price, it's fantasy. It is not a real price. It is a paper derivative price. I can't impress it enough on you to realize that. Now, what's the difference? I think I put in my title between free market and price fix. Oh, free market is just like the baseball cards. This is free market. I put it on eBay and I say I want to sell it. Somebody buys it, that's the price of it. What somebody bought it for is the price. What the market bought it for. But that is not what you have here. I'm not putting this out and getting a free price. I'm getting, well, wait, JP Morgan COMEX is going to tell you what the price is by putting in these derivatives. Why is it going down? This is all fantasy. This is not reality. Nobody's selling gold. Nobody's selling silver. Who the fuck's selling it? Oh, 5 guys at my guy's store because they need to pay their bills. Does not register through COMEX, does not make the price go down. So I heard some idiot say, well, if we all buy an ounce of gold, it'll, it's like, no, dude, it won't go anywhere if we all buy an ounce of gold. If we all bought a ton of gold, it wouldn't go anywhere. This is priced by COMEX, not the markets. Therefore, if I sold this on eBay, I get a free market price. If I sell this on eBay, I don't. I got what there's basically it's going to be $32 is what I'm going to get for it, maybe 34. This is the problem with it. They're still looking at COMEX to get the price, but this isn't on COMEX, so this price doesn't work. So you want the market to dictate what the price is. So them keeping it down is to say, well, we don't want you. We want you in the dollar because that's where we make all the commissions. It's totally illegal, totally immoral. It's absolutely Madoff. So wait a minute. We make all this commission on real estate trust, on stocks, on bonds, having your money in the bank. That's where we make all our money. I told you how a bank worked, right? You give them money and they loan it out and put it, and they make a loan, and then people pay the loan at a higher interest rate. So I'm going to give you 3%, and then I'm going to loan you money out and get 7%. That's what I'm going to do. That's how a bank gets revenue, by loaning the money and getting 7%. So there's no interest in the bank having you in gold. Because if you're in gold, you don't put your money in the bank, and they don't loan the gold out for houses or cars or commercial real estate. There's no purpose of gold in a bank, in the stock market. Well, why would I be in stocks? I'm in silver. Why would I? I'm not going to buy Apple with this. I'm going to hold this. But because this is its own, it's like a Rolex. Does a financial advisor ever tell you to buy a Rolex? Why not? They can't go down. They're extremely limited, and they're extremely highly in demand. So you need somebody who understands economics to teach you, which means you want to buy limited items that are not a lot made with high demand, and that will be high prices, and the prices will go up. Gold, silver, baseball cards, the Rolexes, the paintings. That's what you want. That's why these like old cars. I'm not a car guy, so I can't really just spit one off my head, but let's say a 65 Corvette or whatever, just throwing a name that I know, probably goes up in value because there's demand for it, because they're probably very limited. But it doesn't matter what the item is. It's got to be limited, and it's got to be highly demanded, will make you money. But where does that fit in Wall Street? It doesn't. Stocks aren't limited. Real estate trusts aren't limited. Give you annuities. They're not limited. None of the products they sell you are limited. Keeping your money in the bank is not limited. If you have 100,000 in the bank. This is the conversation I had with the Chinese guy, was people don't get that concept that the money they have is worthless. They don't understand that. They will not understand that because they can't wrap their hands around, what do you mean this is worthless? How can this be worthless? I have 1 million of them. Yeah, you have 1 million Monopoly money. How can this be worth anything? There's too many printed. It's not limited. And there's not enough demand for these. So if you put this on eBay, it would be like this. It would be like my Bobby card. This is worth $2 because it's not limited. There's 1 million of them. So therefore, is there 1 million buyers? Well, Bobby and his family, but besides that, no. So therefore, there is no, there's too many to meet demand. That's why the Mahomes card, there's only 50 of them. So is there 50 Mahomes buyers? Yes. And by making it 50, it makes it even more demand because people are drawn to it going, oh, there's only 50 of them and it's Mahomes. So people who are just looking for investors collectibles are going to be drawn to that card. Oh, I know Mahomes is good and there's only 50, so it's going to go up in value. So the idea that it's going to go up in value brings people to buy it. Mahomes 50, yeah, it's limited, high demand because it's Mahomes, price will go up. Therefore, I'll buy it. That's a good investment. The Bobby Bonilla is not a good investment. The Barry Bonds was a good investment, 100 count, until he did with all the steroids. And then because of that, the demand dropped for him. It's still a limited card, 100, but then it's like, oh, it's Barry Bonds. He did steroids. I don't want his card. And so you've killed demand for the product. Mark McGwire, Roger Clemens. and therefore the value drop, even though they're limited, because you've killed demand. What is it? Who gives a fuck if he did steroids? I don't give a fuck that Pete Rose bet on the games, not while he played. So why is he not in the Hall of Fame? I wonder what the real reason is. This betting thing, why would that keep him out? That's so stupid. What was Babe Ruth the saint? Mickey drank. Well, he's in the Hall of Fame. If he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, you wouldn't have a Hall of Fame. What do you think? Willie Mays, Hank Aaron were choir boys? I mean, come on. So, you can see how demand is, and then how they killed demand with the steroid stuff. But you got to have both. So you got to have limited and demand, and the price is there. And then people will come in because it is limited. It brings people to the table. And they'll go, oh, I want to buy it. Don't really love it. Like, I got a LeBron James rookie card. I don't like LeBron James. He's a hot dog. But I was smart enough to get some rookie cards of his because it was an investment. It was, I don't like them, but I know they'll go up. It's LeBron James. It's his rookie card, so I'm going to buy it. And yeah, they're worth a lot as a PSA 10. They used to be 30 grand. I think I paid $50 for it, maybe. That's definitely PSA 10 just because there's no centering issues. I mean, the reason the Topps Montana card and those Mantle cards, it's the centering. Let's go to eBay. Let's take a look. So when you look at, like, this is a 65 Topps Mickey Mantle Clutch Homer Gem Mint 10. Look at the centering. A lot of these cards were off center, which affects it from being a 10. So there's very few 10s. This card is 48,000. Now, I could have got one for $100, but I doubt it was centered like this. Anything Mantle or like this, I would buy. Here's the Mantle. This is a PSA 9. And again, look at the centering. Pretty centered, but you can see the centering issues that could happen. A little bit top to bottom, it's not centered. The corners are sharp. I don't know why it's not a 10, but you can see the way the borders are that they didn't do good quality control. So again, making it more limited if you have a 9 or a 10, and you'll probably never see a 10 in this. This is going for 60,000. So limited supply, it's a 9. High demand because it's Mickey Mantle, our hero. And it's a mint 9. It's a 1965. So they're gone. They're limited. It's highly demanded in Mantle. And $60,000. Because there's not a lot centered. A lot of the centering's not good. Now the corners would be dinged up. The picture might be dinged up. Look at these corners, look pretty sharp. So this is the point. It's already graded. See, a lot of my cards aren't graded yet, so I got to get them graded. But that's what you're looking at is the problem. So that makes it more limited if you do have them centered versus not centered. Let's see, where are we at today? So we got quarter ounces at $743. We've got a tenth of an ounce, $301. We have a 1 ounce Maple Leaf, $27.82. We have a 1 ounce Cougaran, $27.50. However, they're in different auctions. Where you'll see the same coin. So if we go to a different day, it's different price. So here's a half ounce, 1453, and here's a 1 ounce, 2804. Here's a 1/10. Now it's a Cougaran 280. Seems to go a little bit less. And then we've got 787 for a quarter ounce and 735 for a quarter ounce. An Eagle versus a Maple Leaf. The Jordan still sitting at 500,000. The guy just runs the ad for commercial, but it's very hard to get this card centered. This is extremely difficult to get this card. There can't be more than 100 of them, which is why it's such a high value. Here's our Rolexes. A Sky Dweller, white gold, 820,000. And down at the bottom, we've got the Daytona Rainbow. You can see the rainbow dial, 527,000. You don't think those are collectibles? Do you know why they're so expensive? Because they're very limited. They don't make a lot of them on purpose. And there's big demand for Rolex. Everybody, oh, it's an image thing. But they're limited. So people will buy them because they know, like, we'll have to ask Nick what his is worth now. He bought one. And I'm sure it's gone up, and I'm sure it'll go up more. And then it'll not be in dollars. So here's what'll happen. So 527,000 for the Rolex turns into zero in dollars, and then gets priced in maybe like 2 ounces of gold will buy you the Rolex. You see this one's 2804 for the ounce. The silver is 3703 for the one I have here. And then the Gold Eagle, this is another half for 1456. So if we look at it, we got 2787, then we got 2769, and then we got some 28. So you can see different markets, right? 2824. So it's not one price for gold, it's different markets. But again, they're still using the COMEX base as the 28. This is not a free market item where, good God, what is that? So here's 2804 and here's 2838 for basically the same coin. So there's multiple markets is what I'm trying to get at. Here's 2750 because it's a Cougaran. At the end of the day, it's an ounce of gold. The fact it's $1, a US, a Cougaran, a Maple Leaf really doesn't matter. Let's see where my Maple Leaf's at. Maple Leaf 2763.70, but you could see them for 2800. $27.87. So this is the point. This is my point. There's all these, those are free markets. The Rolex, the baseball cards are free market. The gold is not a free market. It's looking at the derivative paper market, coming up with the price going, oh, well, this is the paper market. And that's what they're doing. So just to fill you in. So when everybody thinks the dollar has a value, it doesn't. The dollar's worthless. The mantle card's a mantle card. The value comes in the mantle or the Mahomes or the Montana. That's where the value comes from. It's not just a piece of cardboard. Like people used to say, well, it's just cardboard. No, it's not. Well, it is, but it's not. It's cardboard with a mantle on it versus cardboard with Joe Blow on it. So why is the mantle worth a lot more? Because there's more demand for mantle. It's not just a piece of cardboard. Just like this is just a piece of toilet paper. It's monopoly money. People don't want to understand that. It's just a piece of paper. It's not backed by gold. That's why brics, when they come out October 22nd, it's gold backed currency. So the money is backed by gold, which will then put its value down. And that's what we're looking at. That'll be the value of it. And that's really what people need to understand. People have a hard time. I think what it is I've got $500,000 in the bank. I don't want to hear that it's not worth anything. It's the admission that you fucked up. It's the admission of you don't know. And when somebody comes across like me and says, "Yeah, this is what it's worthless," people don't want to hear it. They can't hear it. They can't hear that they don't have any, that the money doesn't have a value. They can't comprehend it. I'm sure when they get home and they start thinking about it, they start sweating. Oh my God, my 500,000 is worthless. But because I'm the only one saying it, and they're saying inflation's tame because Powell says it, or Boog Powell, because he's saying it's okay, inflation's 2%. Well, who am I going to believe? Howard, the professor with his master's, or Powell, who's an attorney who doesn't understand anything? Or all these government guys who are not Austrian, they're all Keynesian. We're going to say, nah, you can just keep printing money. It's not going to hurt it. This is the problem. So they listen and they feel safe and comfortable that their money is worth something. Like Luke's friend, I got $2 million or $4 million. So I'm comfortable. I'm safe. I got $4 million. What can happen to me? Until you realize the money is worthless. So 4 million monopoly money is zero. But they don't want to comprehend that. How do they comprehend that the mantle card's worth 70,000? Because you can see it on eBay. That's the value that the market's giving it. And therefore, they can comprehend it. The Rolexes, they're on eBay. That's what they're worth, because on eBay, somebody is buying and selling at those things. So that's really what you're worried about, is you don't know, and why is the stock market up? It always goes up. Why? Do the company earnings always go up? No, a lot of times they go down. At what point is the stock valued at? It's supposed to be 25 times earnings. If you believe that the earnings will keep growing. The company is only good if it keeps growing. As soon as the company starts declining, like all the car companies are now, they can't sell them. Why would you own it? All right, maybe you own Ford because the book value, it's like other people's money. The book value is 20 and the stock's at 5. So I'm going to buy the company and sell all the assets and make a lot of money. I mean, that's what people used to do, right? Danny DeVito and other people's money. That's what he did. Oh, the company's worth 25 and the stock's at 10. I can't lose. I'll buy all the shares and I'll take it and I'll sell all the equipment and land, and I make far more than 10. This is another Leave It to Beaver episode. Wally buys a car. It's like on all the time, so I'm just catching an episode here and there. He buys a car. It's a clunker. It doesn't work. But the friends come over and they start buying parts. Oh, I'll take this and I'll take that. And before he knows it, he paid $25 for the car, 1962, and he got $35 worth of parts for it. So he broke it up and sold the car for the parts. And that's basically what the stock does, right? I can buy the stock, but I can sell the machinery, the equipment, the land, the factory, whatever, for more than I can buy it for. So that's really what happens. People are looking at that angle here, like Facebook and Apple are. They don't have their earnings aren't strong. They're valued higher than their earnings, like Apple or like Zuckerberg. They don't have earnings because it's free, right? You sign up for Facebook, you don't pay anything. Where's he getting his money from? Selling ads and selling your info to the government. That's how he makes his money. Um, but once the government has yours and mine info, they don't need it again. Here's a million. Okay, well, I already got these. I don't need those guys. And that's what you have. So keep that in mind that you have those stocks are overvalued. They should, because are they going to still grow? I mean, who doesn't have Facebook now? So is it going to grow from here? No, because he doesn't sell it. Everybody who wants to be on it is on it. It's not going to grow. If anything, it's going to shrink, because as people realize he's selling the info, they're going to get off, like I did. And everything, and all the other ones, Twitter, there's no money made. Where's the money? You join for free. Oh, they're going to sell my info, or they're going to sell what? This is what we become, a business of selling your secret info, where you live, what kind of tuna do you like, and stuff like that. I mean, it's a fucking joke. It's a nightmare. You're not selling a product that people want. You've gone away from Austrian economics. Somebody demands something, you make it. Well, here you're selling things, but you're not selling anything. You're giving people here, you can have a Twitter account, you can have a Microsoft account, whatever. But it's free. What's the catch? Well, yeah, we're going to sell all your info and we're going to put up, people are going to pay advertising. Well, I'm not buying anything on those sites. I'm on WhatsApp. I never see an ad. I'm on Twitter. I ignore the ads. And now they want you to, oh, you want to get rid of the ads? Pay us $15 for a month or whatever. Oh, fuck you. I'll just ignore them. I'll scroll through the ad. So we're getting bombarded with ads because companies are all losing money and they think the advertising will make them grow. Well, not in this market. You're taking the buyers out of the market, so the sellers don't have anything, they have no buyers to sell it to. Right? So if nobody wants, I don't have my coffee mug. If nobody wants pens, I can't sell the pen because there's no demand for it. Can only sell this if somebody needs a pen. Thank God there's still room for pens. People will stop buying certain things because they don't need it. Like Luke with the tennis rackets, he's got to be losing customers because it's expensive, and people, I'll buy a used one. I don't care. I don't have the money for it. See, that's what's going to happen. And it's mostly because the money's losing the value. Why is the money losing value? Because there's too much. There's not enough demand for it. All these countries are getting out of it. Gold's coming into play. So what do? We trade our dollar for gold. And this is another thing I talked to the Chinese secret agent about, was telling him that when you buy gold, you're trading your dollar. You're not spending a nickel. So if I buy an ounce of gold for $2,800, or I buy this for $38, it's a trade. If I buy this for $38, this is still worth $38. I can go sell it back to the coin shop or on eBay and get $38 for it. It's a wash. It's a net zero. If you bought a Rolex, same thing. It's a net zero. You didn't spend it. It's not like going golfing where you spent for the green fees, and you went and played golf and you bought balls and you bought clubs. That's spent. But even the clubs you bought, if they're good clubs, like I have Hogan Apexes, I can sell them and make some money on them. This Mahomes card, I paid $50 for it. It's still an asset. I really just traded dollars for this and in hopes of this goes up, just like I hope this goes up versus this I know is going down. See, this is the key. This is losing value. I don't think it has anything left, but let's say it has 1 cent left. It's losing value. Nobody wants it. If nobody wants it, it has no value. Well, you got 159 countries joining, getting the fuck out of it. They're buying gold with it. Why gold? Why not Bitcoin? Why not something else? Because why aren't they buying Rolexes? Well, they probably are on the side, but because it's money, you buy money, right? So you're just trading. When you get out of dollars and you go into gold, you're just exchanging worthless dollars for something of value that's going up. That's what you're doing. But it's why is it so hard for people who have $1 million to recognize it's toilet paper? Why don't I trade it in for gold? And then if I need it, if I need the money, I can sell the gold for the money. That's one thing you can turn around and sell is your gold for the money. People have a hard time with that concept. Oh, if I buy gold, what? You don't lose any money. If you hold the money, you lose money because it has no value and it's going to zero. But if you trade it for gold, so you've taken 100 grand of dollars and put it into gold. And every $100, so if you got 100 ounces, every $100 goes up, you made $10,000. That's a bonus because you're really buying it. That if you need to, you take the gold and you sell it back for the dollars and you got your 100 grand back, basically, give or take a little bit. So what is wrong with that? This is the problem, right? Why can't people see that? So they should be out of the dollar because the risk is the dollar's at zero and the gold's about to go thanks to brics. What is your risk? Zero. Just like getting the Mahomes card for $50. What is my risk? Zero. I get it graded. I always can get $1,000, $2,000 for something I paid $50 for. And I'd rather have the card or the gold or the silver than the money. I don't want the money because it's worthless, but people can't understand that concept. That's the easiest concept to understand. It's being printed. It's not worth anything. It's monopoly money. It's too much printed. There's not enough demand for it. All the countries are getting out of it. Everybody's buying gold because you printed so much of it, it doesn't have a value. Why is that a hard concept to understand? Why can't people understand that concept? That's the most easy concept. And then you just trade it in. I trade it for gold. I trade it for silver. And if I need the money, I go to the store and I say, here's an ounce of gold. Give me back $2,800 or $27. And I got my money back. Meanwhile, I'm risking my money being worthless in dollars. And that's what's happening to everybody. They don't realize they're risking in dollars. They're risking the fact that the dollar has value. And in gold, we never worry about it because you can't make it, copy it, print it. You have to dig it out of the ground, and then you take a chunk of silver and you make this. You make it, and then that's it. But you can check it with the magnet at the guy's store that I go to. I know he's checking it, so I'm never worried about his silver or gold not being real. But I tend to stick with, in gold, I'm sticking with the countries. It's Canadian, it's U.S., it's Philharmonics, Austrian, it's a few Australian kangaroos and a few Cougarans. So I'm sticking with the big boy governments that I know are 999 pure gold. Okay, fine. I'm fine. This says, this says 4 nines fine silver. So this is 4 nines fine silver down at the bottom. You can see it. And that's, so you stick with that. So there's no risk that it's fake. And the guy asked me today, he says, "So where do you buy it?" And I said, at the jewelry store. And he says, can it be fake? And I says, no, because they won't sell it if it's fake. And you can have them test it. You can say, hey, I'd like to make sure it's real. And they'll pull out this little machine and it'll say, is it silver? And it'll say, yes. And you can also take out a magnet, but that's more for jewelry where you're going to get fake. And then if the magnet sticks to it, it's bullshit. The magnet should repel gold and silver, but it won't if it's fake. The magnet will, like this. If I put a magnet up to this, it would stick on it. But if I put a magnet up to this, it won't. If it doesn't, that's good for gold and silver. So you're just trading. You're just saying, here's my gold. Here's my dollars. I'm trading it for gold and silver. A mantle card, a Rolex, a painting. That's all you're doing with it. You're just trading it. You still have the value, the asset value you still have. That hasn't gone anywhere. So you must understand that. Like my Canadian club. Now, I bought this in 1997 when I worked there. I don't know what this is not. This is like 50-year-old. It might be the only 50-year-old bottle there is. Does it give a date? No, it just says 12 years. 12 years to create a blend rich and mellow and natural smoothness. I wonder if there's a date on there somewhere. Probably is. Interesting what's on the bottom, right? A 9. These little trademark things. Imported in bottle by Hiram Walker, my company. Farmington Hills, Michigan. I worked in Southfield. Age 12 years, but no date on it. Anyway, you're trading your money is what it's, so what we do every day is we go buy food with it. We're trading our money for food, but we eat the food. We need to eat the food, so we trade it for food and we eat it, and that's we go. I trade my money for rent. Okay, I lose my money. I trade my money for my electricity and my heat. Okay, I'm using the money to pay for that. But when I trade my money for baseball cards or Rolexes or gold and silver, it's a trade. I can get my money back if I want to. But right now, it's more valuable to hold the gold and silver than to hold the dollar. So I don't know what I can say or do to explain that the money's worthless. And when you have 2 million of it, I don't know why, but people don't want to hear it's worthless. They don't want to hear it. There's nothing you can say that says, by the way, this is worth nothing. And nobody will believe it because they don't want to. It's a mental thing that who are you? Like the guy on the bike. Well, I got a master's in Austrian economics. No, you don't. Not even prove it. Because I could prove it with my title here, Austrian economist. But he wouldn't even read it. He didn't want to even know I was an Austrian economist. Oh, when did you get it? 1995. Oh, well, a lot has changed since then. Oh, really? No, Adam Smith did all this in the 1700s. Nothing's changed. It's the same concepts and theory. That's like my football. It's the same concepts and theory that I've developed since the 1970s. Tweaked a little bit, adding a little bit more, but it's the same theory. That's why I win. I have developed theories on how to bet football. That's why I'm good at it. I have a theory on the dollar being worthless and gold. You can't because you can't print it. That's the theory. Oh, well, that makes sense then. And you're trading it. So I trade dollars for gold. If I want the dollars back, I sell the gold. That's what people are doing. They go to the gold store, right? They sell an ounce, they get $2,700 for it. They gotta pay their bills. So if that's the case, then that's what you do. That's why I recommend having a lot more gold and silver There is never enough because it's all going to go way up in price. So why not take advantage of this for $32 is going to be it's going to be worth 1,000. So if I have 10, 100, or 500, wouldn't it behoove you to buy more? They're waiting for you. They're keeping it down. You can buy more. Buy more. Buy as much as you can. Buy as many dollars as will allow you, with still keeping dollars to eat and pay rent. And that's what it's all about. So that's free trade versus fixed. Free trade, I sell my Mahomes card, whatever the market tells me is what I get it for. A painting, a car, a house. Free market. What will the market give me for my asset? But when you get to gold and silver, you think you're doing that. Well, gold's 2660 right now. But where do you get that figure from? That figure's not right. The Mahomes figure is what came out on eBay in the free market. That's what somebody's willing to pay for it. But you do not have a free market in gold and silver. It's whatever the derivative idiots are doing, forcing the price down so people think that's the real price, and it's not anywhere close to reality. That is the problem, everybody. So when you say the dollar is going to zero, prove it. You can't. There's no pricing mechanism. So if Mahomes is going down, there's pricing mechanism. I go on eBay, it's $2,000. Then I start seeing it at 1,000, and then at 500, and then at 25. I can see the pricing mechanism. I can see the value of the card, but you can't. You don't know the value of this. They can't measure inflation. They can't measure the value of this. How do you know what it's worth? How do you know? What I should do with my dollar. You don't know the value because there is no registered way to value it. So we believe there's 150 trillion out there. Could be more. Well, when we print another trillion every quarter, there's another trillion to be absorbed. There just isn't the demand for it. There used to be because of the petrodollar. There's no more demand for the dollar, for the petrodollar, because you can buy it in your own currency, French francs or euros or Polish zlotskis. You can buy oil in those currencies. You don't need the dollar anymore. So now there's less demand for the dollar. All these dollars are coming back because people are selling them going, I don't need it. So they go to the bank and say, I want my currency. That's kind of how they're selling them. All of a sudden it comes back. Nobody wants your dollar. That's when it loses value. That's the problem. But these A-heads with $2 million in 401k, they have no idea. They're clueless. They can't figure out that it has a value or it doesn't. They don't understand. They don't want to understand. If I got $1 million, don't tell me it's worthless. Even if you're 100% accurate, which I am, don't tell me it's worthless. And then I'll say, well, why don't you just trade it for gold? Here's $1 million. Go get $1 million in gold, and it's going to go up, and the dollar is going to go down. Oh, are you an economist? How do you know that? No. It's just your opinion. No. It's fact. And this is what I fight every day. Well, the stock market always goes up, or Apple always goes up, and why would I get out of gold? Look at the stock market's up, and look at gold; it doesn't move. Well, it went from 2,000 to 2660. Didn't it move? So it's just really trying to use logic as best I can to do this. And how do you explain to the people that you need to use logic? That is your real problem because they're not logical. The regular Joe is sitting there going, well, I got $1 million in toilet paper, but I don't really think it's toilet paper. I think it's got a value. I got $1 million. What are you going to buy with it? Tennis racket, toilet paper? It's not worth anything. That's what they don't get. So $1 million of nothing is still nothing. But they're in dollars. And this is going to be the fatal flaw of everybody. They won't get out of it because they're too scared to get out of it until they realize it's worthless. And then the run, that's why I use the Titanic. When we realize the boat's going to sink, we make a panic melee into the lifeboats. Oh, there's not enough. And that's what's going to happen once people who have all this money realize it's worthless, starting with Warren Buffett and Gates and all these morons. Once they realize it's not worth anything, then they'll start, well, what do I get into? Oh, gold and silver. That's your only lifeboat. Unless you want, a Mantle card or a Rolex. But that's going to be harder to sell because the dollar will be gone. You won't know what it's worth. That's why gold and silver, because it's always, you can go to a restaurant or a grocery store with an ounce of silver and buy dinner. They will take it. They know it's money. So if I have to eat at the barbecue restaurant every day, I got lots of silver to pay with. So the dollar becomes worthless. Every dollar becomes worthless. This becomes worthless. Swiss franc becomes worthless. The British pound's worthless. The Canadian dollar's worthless. People can't grasp that concept. Prices are going up everywhere. No, the dollar is losing value everywhere. Anywhere you see inflation or prices going up, and that's not what inflation is. Inflation is printing the money. So anytime you see prices going up, it's the money losing value. And nobody knows what their money's worth. They've conveniently left that little fact out. What kind of bullshit is that? What's my $5 worth? Not much. What's my dollar worth? Nothing. You can't really price it like gold. Well, the ounce of this is $33. But you can't price this. It's what it'll buy. That's the intention of the CPI is what can I buy with my dollar shows me the value of my dollar, but that's a bad way to do it. As I said, it's not free market pricing. Some of it is and some of it isn't. Again, my dollar's losing value, but I can't make Coke $4 a bottle. I got to keep it at $2.95 because nobody's going to pay for it. So they can't raise prices. So how do you figure out how the dollar lost more money? And there's really no one product that says how much it is. You can't really use products that, you can't use Snickers bar as a way to measure inflation. Only if Snickers can keep raising their prices, which they can't. Between competition and nobody can afford it, and people are paying their dollar, using their dollars here, there, and everywhere, you can't just raise prices. So you really don't know how much the dollar's deteriorated by using prices. Maybe on gold if you got COMEX out of the way. So maybe when COMEX collapses, then we can figure out inflation by that, which is why they keep the price down, because then you could figure out inflation. If you just left gold alone and gold's now 10,000 an ounce, I can figure out inflation. Let's see, it took me $32 to buy it in 72. It takes me 10,000 to buy it now. Yeah, that's a shitload of inflation. But you don't have anything stable like that. Cars, like I pointed out with the Toyota, they went to 35,000 for the Camry. Now it's back down to 27. That doesn't show inflation. So it's really what can your dollar buy, and then it's going to be what can gold and silver buy. The demand for gold and silver will go through the roof as they turn and understand the dollar's worthless. They know the only thing left is the gold and silver, and therefore, then they will all swarm. Oh, I need gold and silver. Well, yeah, you don't, but I'm not going to take your cash. You got to give me something for it. I'll give you my house. I'll give you my car. I got a nice Mercedes. Okay, I can give you an ounce of gold for that, because they need the gold more than they need the Mercedes. They might have 3 Mercedes. All right, we'll sell one of them. We'll get gold and we can eat. And that's what's going to be the problem. Because the dollar, the only way you do this is USD 2 or Euro 2. That's the only way that people are going to survive, is they're going to have to sell assets and get gold with it because the dollar will be worthless. And that's really where we're at and headed to. But only this many of the people are in on the game. Most of the people are ignoring that game. They're going, no, no, no. My dollar, I got $1 million. I'm not worried. You're not worried until your dollars are worth zero. We are at that stage because they keep printing the fucking things. They've printed more than there's demand. Nobody wants it. China selling back. Japan selling back. Germany selling back. BRICS selling back. They don't want the dollar. They prefer the gold. All the central banks in the world are they're selling their dollars for gold. Why? And it's not a secret. Everybody knows all the central banks are buying it. Why? Why they choose gold? Because you can't print it and inflate it. Because inflation is printing it. That's why you get into gold. You can't print it. Well, wait. So why don't we do that with the dollar? Because it's not backed by gold. That's why you need it backed by gold, so you can't print it and inflate it. So right now, when it's not backed by anything, it's just free to print as much as you want. But they don't know what they're doing. They take advantage and they go, print me a million, Don Corleone. So that's really the problem of why it's dollars not backed by gold, because then it's a green light to print as much as they want. However, when you do that, then you can't overprint it. There's no demand for it, and the price goes to zero. And that's what I'm trying to emphasize. That's why and what to do. So you got to get on the lifeboat before everybody realizes the dollar's worthless. But everybody, oh, that can't happen. It didn't happen in 2008. It's not going to happen now. Have you heard of the Roman Empire? Yeah, I bring that up because everybody respects the Romans. So that's how they went out. They inflated their money, they printed too much, and that was it. They were done. And the prices really don't go up. It's the value of the dollar being printed to death. So it has no value. That's what happens. It's not really prices going up. It's the value of the dollar that nobody wants it. So then it's worthless. And that's why it goes out. And then you come up with the cute new, instead of a Deutschmark or Reichsmark, instead of the US dollar number one, US dollar number two. This will save the day. Is it backed by gold? No. Well, then how the hell? It's the same crap you have out there. Because the gold will keep it limited, because you have to have enough dollars that you have gold backing it. So if you have $10 million in gold, you can only print $10 million in that. That's why we'll get a higher gold price from BRICS, because with all the Indian people and all the Chinese people, you've got problems on your hands. So you've got to make a $7,000-8,000 gold price so you can print enough dollars that everybody can have. Because your economy is about to be, you need gold-backed currency to deal, not the bullshit dollar. So October 22nd, they say gold's going to be 3,500, 5,000, 10,000, whatever they need. They need a high number. And it'll still, in my mind, it should still move. So in other words, gold runs up. They do it at 5,000. Gold runs up to 7,000. Okay, you pegged your dollar to $5,000 gold, but it doesn't mean the gold can't go up in value to 7,500. That's what should happen. It should just be independent. Now, in Zimbabwe's case, they didn't peg it to anything. They said whatever the value of gold is what we're going to put our dollar at. And so it's a moving rate. So right now gold's 26.50. Their dollar's just shot up. That's how you should do it. You shouldn't fix it. You don't need to fix it. Just it's worth gold. And gold at $5,000 an ounce is what it's worth. And then gold goes up, it's worth more. You got to control the gold price, but you can't manipulate it where, it's never going to go under 5,000. It's just stuck. That's where the dollar might be worth 5,000 ounces, $5,000 in gold. And then what has to happen is then we reprice everything in the gold-backed currency. So you get it, at the grocery store is going to be a pain in the ass. All those items, you're going to now reduce the price in dollars. So if Coke's $3 in this, it now becomes 1/4 ounce of this. So everything in dollars goes to zero, comes repriced in quarters in silver. And most of the stuff will be 1/4 ounces of silver. And then it's easy to make change. Well, here's an ounce. I only have an ounce of silver. Oh, no problem. Here's a half ounce. Here's a couple 1/4 ounces. There you go. And you price everything either in 1/10 of an ounce, 1/4 ounce, half ounce. So you're not dealing with pennies. But it's if nobody wants them, this is pure economics. Nobody wants it. It's got no value. People want the Mahomes card, the Rolex watch. That's where it gets the value. It's as simple as that. And that's where that's what you're looking for. So that's what a free market is. A free market where the market sets the price. A fixed market is where JP Morgan says gold's worth 26, and we're going to keep the price down because of put options that lower the price. Problem is now if people want to buy it, you lower it, they go, oh, okay, I'll take it. And then the price goes back up because now they're demanding it. So this bullshit Madoff banks are going to lose their ass because they keep shorting it. It costs them a lot of money when you short all these contracts and the price goes up, not down. You're fucked. So you can see the pricing, the price fixing isn't working because the gold price is not going down $10, $20 here and there, but generally it keeps going up and up and up. We'll see 2,700 soon. And that's where it's at. And people that make price predictions have no idea. They can't factor in free market gold from COMEX gold. In COMEX, they know it just goes up a little and drops. They don't understand it's dropping because of the derivatives. People are shorting it, but they're not in the reality. The demand is huge, and there's probably not a lot of gold. They're doing it without really gold. I mean, gold is gone. I don't think there's any gold out there except for when somebody comes and sells a few ounces, you can go buy it at the store. Otherwise, there's no gold out there to buy. If nobody sold anything, you wouldn't be able to get it. And that's my point and my issue of hurriness is go buy it before it's worthless. That's really where the problem lies. So people aren't understanding that. So, it then goes to how do I make people understand it? And the best way is I can say it's $32 an ounce in 71, and now it's $26.60. So it needs $26.60 to buy the same ounce of gold. That usually gets their attention. And then the fact that you can print dollars, trillions and trillions, you can't print the gold. So it keeps its demand because it is limited. People want it. Just like the 50 count Mahomes. They want it because there's only 50 of them. They want gold because it's very limited and it's pretty and it's money. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters is we know it is money. It's recognized in the Constitution. The whole fucking world is buying it because they realize gold has value. So that's really what it's all about. So understanding the market, understanding what is free market versus fixed, what will go up? Oh, limited stuff that there's a demand for. Mostly the demand comes from it's Mahomes or Mantle and the fact that you can't produce more. Gold and silver are very limited. You can't print it. So it can't lose its value because that. So when it goes down, it's bullshit. The days it goes down is just fantasy because it can't go down because it's limited. You can only go down as if all of a sudden there's a flood of gold on the market. More than what we can buy, which I don't think could ever happen. Even if there's a new find on the moon and they brought all the gold here, There's too many people who would want the gold at these ridiculously low prices. We need prices to control the supply and demand. So as the price goes up, uh, less people can afford it. More people will sell it. It's leveling off where the demand goes down because it's too expensive, but the supply is limited to whatever they have. So you want to buy your gold now before you can't, before it's too expensive. Same with silver. You've got to buy it now. You'll never see silver at 32 an ounce. And once it gets rolling and it hits $400 or $500 an ounce, oh, Howard, it's never been over 50. How can it do that? Well, very easily. Demand. You've got solar panels, you've got Tomahawk missiles, a little bit of electric cars, and everybody needing it for money, which is going to be huge. So that's your demand for silver, which means it's limited, which means the price goes up. So you can contain it now in COMEX, but people will go, wow, it's $3,000 for gold and only $30 for silver. Fuck, I can't afford the gold. I'm going to go buy more silver. And that's really where you're looking at. So because it's been price fixed, you don't know what the real price of silver is. You know what the derivative paper price is, $32, but you don't know what the real price is. The eBay, I'm selling it to you and you're going to buy it at what price, and that's what we're going to value the card at. So if I go in to sell this, you're going to use COMEX's pricing and say, wow, oh, it's $32. No, I want to get away from that. I want to be able to be on something, eBay, and say, all right, I'm going to sell this gold. I'm going to put it out at $200. Who wants to pay? Because what'll happen is gold will get so expensive you won't be able to afford it. If you can't afford it, it then takes you to silver, right? Okay, I need something to get off the Titanic. Oh, silver's also a lifeboat. Okay, I'll take silver. It's pretty too. So that's really what you're doing is getting from a you want to get to a free market. So now gold and silver are still COMEX price, and we're buying it. So we want to get to a free market. Right. Once we get to a free market, we're gold. And what I'm saying is the free market for silver is probably $500 an ounce, not this 32, not 50. And the same thing with gold. It's not 2660. It's about 26,000 would be the real price. So if you explain it in the right way, you can explain it to people, which is always a tough task because people, it's really finding somebody that'll listen. Now, it's easier to talk about Mahomes card. I got a 50 count Mahomes card. Will you buy it? They'll buy this quicker than they'll buy this, which is the amazing part. Well, this will go up. It's Mahomes. It's 50 count. This won't go. Look, it doesn't. It goes up to $50. It is easier to sell people this than it is this. It's unbelievable. That's how stupid people are. They're not stupid. That they just aren't educated. And that's the problem. So you got a bunch of uneducated people, and they're getting lucky because in stocks, it goes up because they print more. They print the dollars, throw it in the stock market and buy stocks, but they're only buying 4 or 5 stocks. So if you own them, you're making money, but you don't even know how you're making money. Oh, it's up $2 today. Well, wait till it's down $100 and then 500. You're going to get out. Bitcoin's the same way. Bitcoin's up, down. I saw it up 2,000 the other day, down 3,000 yesterday. I think it's like upper 50s. It's not even real. It's digital. Show me a Bitcoin. You can't. So how the fuck can it have a value? Well, because Joe says it does. Well, I don't care what Joe says. Show me why it's worth it. Oh, you can't because there is no lever making it worth 50. Anyway, so that's free markets. That's gold. That's silver. That's collectibles. Rolex is very limited and very much demanded. So things that are very limited with high demand, you're going to make a fortune on. And once you realize to get out of the dollar, I mean, if you're scared of doing what I'm saying by buying gold, think about it. Well, you can always sell the gold back for the dollars. What's going to go down? The dollar that's printed and printed and printed, or the gold that can't be printed? What do you think is going to be? So if we understand that, limited things have a higher value, which is why I show you this. This is a 50 count Mahomes versus a card that's a regular card in the deck. Well, you know, the 50 count is worth more than that. So that's your answer. So a dollar printing hard versus gold that's limited, of course, the gold's worth more. And, you know, okay, I got $1 million. I'm going to buy 500,000 worth of gold. Oh, I need money. Oh, just sell your gold. You'll get the money in a heartbeat. If you hold on to the dollar and you try it, you're going to have trouble in the bank. You're going to have trouble in the stock market. You might not even be able to buy the gold. See, the iceberg just happened, so we can get off the ship. That's how you have to look at it. We're already 5 steps ahead. Oh, iceberg happened. Water's coming in. Boat's going to sink. We need to get on the lifeboat now. So we skip all the steps and go right to the lifeboat. And people with the dollar are holding it. I'm holding it. No. It's worth $1 million. Why would I get rid of it? Because it has no value. Well, yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. What do you mean? What do you mean? Where are you getting this from? They can't come up with an answer. So it becomes very difficult to figure out what to do with it. So gold and silver, because you're you're into the lifeboat. See, if you're in early, you have it and it's gonna, as it goes up. So being in gold at 17, 1800, now when it makes this move at 2600, I'm not buying it now. I've already bought it. I'm already expecting and waiting for it to happen. And when it finally happens, now I've made money. Had I stayed in the dollar, I would be sweating every night going, this is not worth anything. All these countries are getting off. Read the warning signs. Don't listen to me. 159 countries want to join BRICS and get on the dollar, get off the dollar onto gold. So don't listen to me, but don't bury your head in the sand. And that's the problem. So people aren't aware of, they don't want to believe their dollar is worthless and they have no proof of it. Then the government comes out and says, oh, inflation is down to 2%. Yeah. What are you guys drinking, smoking, whatever? It's not, it's worth, the inflation is so high, you can't measure it. Well, we won't count food and energy, all the things that normally we use that are expensive. Well, okay, what do we want to do? Rolexes and Mantle cards? Oh, we can measure inflation in that. Let's look at those prices. Well, the Montana card is now 110,000. It was 40. Oh, inflation's pretty high, isn't it? But again, you can't measure the inflation because it didn't go up because the dollar's lower. It went up because 50 people want the Montana rookie card PSA 10. 50 people want it. That's going to drive the price up. Got nothing to do with inflation. So you don't know if the inflation is the price going up or the demand of the good. Everybody wants Mantle, the price went up versus the dollar's losing value. So it takes more dollars to buy it. This is where it's tricky. And it's not, this is where you must understand the inflation is printing the money. But they don't want to show you because it's government fuck up, right? Why is government still printing these money? And then you got your $36 trillion debt in the way. So with all that going on, why do you want to be in the dollar? Oh, Howard, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a Madoff. No, I got a master's in this and I knew exactly what I'm talking about. It's pure logic. If you print a lot of stuff, it's not worth as much as if it's limited. We all know that. 50 count Mahomes. I got a 101 Iserman. A 300 count Brady rookie or 700 count Brady rookie. So I have a lot that it's limited and it's Brady, and so it's really comes down to demand. If it's Lady and not Brady, nobody wants it. But because it's Brady, then everybody wants. So that's why you buy the Brady's, the Le Mans, the Mahomes, because they have the demand. That's what you're really looking for. That's what I figured out when I started to go to the card show. I'm getting it's 1980. It's no, it's the early 90s because I just got married, and there's nothing. There's no baseball to buy. Cal Ripken Jr., Griffey, Frank Thomas, and there's no hockey. You had some Gretzky's and Mario Lemieux. Football, you have Barry and Emmett and Jerry Rice and Montana, but it's a little early for them. They're not out there. So you've got to find the trigger that there's demand for. Barry Sanders, okay. Joe Montana, okay. What drives the demand? Oh, he won 4 Super Bowls. Oh, I want his card because he's a winner and he won 4 Super Bowls. Therefore, I'm going to buy. I want the guy who did that. I want Mahomes. I want um, these champions. That's what I want. And that's what you go after. And then in the earlier sets that I was showing you, now it's got to be mint condition because those are hard to find. So now we've got limited, high demand, Mantle, Mays, Hank Aaron, Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson. We have limited cards because there's a lot of bad condition cards. So you got a mint card, very limited, high demand, Sandy Koufax, Gibson, Pete Rose. His card's probably just jumped. Clemente, Mays, Mantle, Aaron. So now you have the limited supply because it's a PSA 9 or 10 with huge demand because those guys are popular and you're going to make a fortune on it. So that's what I did, which was go after those mint condition cards in the 60s. Any of those players. I got a 61 Maris that's perfect. If this doesn't get a 10, I don't know what does. It's perfect card, perfectly centered, perfect corners, perfect pitcher. I'll show you to one day, and it's a perfect card. If it's got to be a 10. And in 1961, 10, Roger Maris has huge demand. It's extremely limited, worth a fortune. And I got it, but I got to get it graded. So my problem is I got to get it graded, and I don't trust the graders. If I send that into PSA, the guy looks at it and it's a 10 Maris. Do you think I'm going to get that card back, or am I going to get a PSA 8 Maris back? And he's keeping the 10 because he needs the money and he'll be a millionaire with it. That's my problem with PSA. Because if I was a grader, I'd have a hard time not switching it either. How do I not switch it and give you an 8 and keep the 10 and then go get or grade the 10 and keep it? That's really the problem. And it's so shady that you got to be careful with it. But that's where you're getting the whole demand, supply demand thing. If it's mint condition, there's less made, and the demand is based on he's a superstar. Willie Mays, okay, huge demand. Hank Aaron, Sandy Koufax, Mickey Mantle. You know there's high demand because they're very strong players. Now Pete Rose joins it. Even though he's not in the Hall of Fame, he just died. That'll put his up. And that's really what you do. You simply that's what you need to go for when investing in collecting your money that you made over your bills. You make 100, your bills are 50, you take the 50. How do I make money with it? You look for something limited that's high demand. So a very good condition Mickey Mantle, I'm going to make a lot of money on it. So that's what I'm going to do with my extra money. At first, I was getting Joe Montana and Dan Marino and Troy Aikman and Barry and Jerry Rice. And then I slowly slid it to, you know what? Let's go to Hank Aaron and Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays because they're even more popular than those guys. They've already proven it. The other guys haven't. Now, they did. Montana was good. Marino never won a Super Bowl. It's killing him. He's not a winner. It's as simple as that. He was a great quarterback. No question. he didn't win because he had a bad coach. Because Don Shula did not give him a running game and did not give him a defense because he never changed the offense. Just like Dan Fouch, you can't pass 50 times a game. You can't. It won't rest your defense, and it's hard to score in the red zone. And there will be interceptions. That's the problem with the passing. And now the whole college is passing, and it's a joke. And when I find that good running guy, like in Boise State, I jump on him going, this is going to be good because they can't tackle him. He's just going to hand the ball. You don't have interceptions that way, and you get a lot of touchdowns, especially in the red zone. So that's what you do, and that's the key to it. So when you're trying to invest, don't buy stocks that are not limited, that are manipulated. Don't be in real estate trusts because the real estates are bad because they lend money to anybody. You don't want to be an annuity because it's a fixed 9% of money that's worthless. So the key concept is to understand money's worthless. This has been printed to death. How do you understand that? Because you just look at how many of these dollars are out there, but you're looking at are the central banks buying euros? Why not? Well, they're dumping dollars to buy gold. Well, why aren't they buying euros? Why aren't they buying Swiss francs, British pounds, Canadian? Why are they getting rid of dollars in the first place? Because these things are worthless. And the bankers are smart enough to realize the real inflation is they printed so much of this that these don't have a value. I got to get out. And then they're doing this, whatchamacallit, with these sanctions, right? Well, you can't deal with dollars. Okay, fine. I won't deal with dollars. I'll go deal with gold-backed currency then. If I can't deal in the SWIFT system with dollars, I'll go somewhere else to shop. That's what you're doing. You're sending them to the competition. Are you doing it on purpose or is this an accident? Who knows? But you're fucked. And I don't know. I can't imagine this is on purpose because it's so fucking stupid that whoever has the gold makes the rules. Everybody knows this. So therefore, why would you screw your own dollar, have China and Russia buy all this gold, and then go to a gold standard in China and Russia, and you go out? Who would think of something this stupid? Besides George Soros, but I can't imagine he's that smart either. And that's what's happening. So that's how a market works. That's how prices are fixed versus free. Any questions on that? Does everybody get that concept? It's really the key to everything. That's what happens when you date a girl and then you date the girl. The girl, there's no substitute. There's a lot of fish in the sea. No, I don't want any other fish. I found my fish. That's what it is. I got gold. There's no substitute for that. So the girl of your dreams is the gold. Oh, no, I don't want to get rid of her. As you're dating other girls, they're the dollar. Well, yeah, I don't like her. I'm going to find somebody else until you finally find the right girl. And then it's now you've got her. That's the one. That's the gold piece. And that's what you should be looking for. So when I tell you to date 2, 3, 4 girls at a time, really I'm saying to meet them and you're testing them. Are they gold or are they dollars? And you want to be with the gold one that you can't replace. And that's who you marry, right? That's your soulmate. She's my gold. And if everybody married their gold, you would never have a divorce. You would never leave them. And that's the problem. I think that's why I had a hard time. I met my gold and it was, I couldn't be with her but I couldn't, how can I go find somebody else? I found my gold. That's what was extremely tough for me. It took me 4 or 5 years to get over it because there's one gold. I'm looking for another gold. Once in a while, I'd find another piece of gold, but it's hard when you find the gold and then you can't marry it. Then it's really because You don't want anybody else. I got the gold. I don't want the paper dollars. And people have a hard time understanding that. Well, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Yeah, but there's only one gold. And if you find it, you can't just throw it out and, oh, I'll find another one. It's so hard to find the other one. That's the point. So it works in everything. Restaurants, I want to eat at this one, not that one. Clothes, I want to buy this brand, not that brand, and everything. So it's always about finding that what that substitute is, and that the thing you can't substitute. That's really the key to everything. So anyway, I think I have covered this subject pretty good. So now you understand gold and silver are really undervalued because they are not free market. But you understand the Mahomes and the Rolex are free markets. You understand the difference. Somebody is price fixing gold and silver with derivatives. We don't use derivatives. If I go on eBay, there's no derivatives for Mahomes or for Mantle or for Tom Brady. There's no derivative. The price is the price. So that's what's happening. I notice it's getting darker earlier now. It's 7:30, and it's like I can see it's kind of dark out. I used to walk about 7:30, and I'd go to the lake till like 8:30. Not anymore. If I'm not there 2 in the afternoon, I can't go now. It's not out there. What else? So you have these wars going on, which are a joke. They're spending a lot of money, so they're printing and printing more and more, which is devaluing the dollar more and more. I don't know why they think a war is good. It's not. It's terrible. Killing people are terrible. Things are expensive. You ruin your money because you print. And every country, Napoleon screwed the French going to war with Waterloo with Russia. England, World War One, they went out because they went to war and it's expensive. Germany, World War Two, they needed money to buy the war. To make the equipment. Rome, it was expensive. Well, Rome's problem was they took the gold and silver out. They debased it. Debasing, taking the gold and silver out of your coins. I love these idiots. Oh, they're debasing the dollar. Oh, is there gold and silver in the dollar that they're taking out? Really? Where is there gold and silver in this that they're taking out? Show me. Oh, is this what you think? Is that what you think the silver is? It's insanity. These people are just, and they're just, one's dumber than the next. Maybe the definition change, like the CPI. Well, it doesn't measure inflation. Why they do it is they're just doing a magic show. They're just saying, oh, it's the CPI and it's year over year, and that's how we get inflation. That's all bullshit. So you feel comfortable to keep your money in the Ponzi scheme. Oh, I'm in stocks. I'm in bonds. I'm in real estate trusts. I'm in the bank. I got my money in the bank. It's safe there. Jesus Christ. So it's just the ignorance of people because it's not taught. Why is it not taught? Because they don't want you to know about it. They want to keep your money in the gold and to keep your money out of gold and silver and into the banks and into the stock. Because if you're in gold and silver, they can't make any money on you. How are they going to make money on you? You bought the gold, you're done. They don't get a commission on it. They don't, they can't turn around, and stocks are real estate trusts. So let's keep the price low on it so people won't demand the gold because they don't know about it. We'll keep them stupid, blind to the gold and silver. Like Sauron will keep his eye blind to Frodo. So if people don't understand this, why would I buy it? Oh, it does. It's $30 an ounce. Why would I buy it? It doesn't move. Because they're not telling you the whole story. So anyway, I think that's it, my friends, my family. www.teaserking.com if you're interested in my football picks for this weekend. They're all, college has been posted. There's more to come. Pro, I'm waiting on a few injuries, and We'll see what happens. Oakland, is Crosby and Devontae Adams playing, or are they not playing? And a few other quarterbacks, out there. Is Micah Parsons playing? He's injured. Probably will play. Probably take a shot and play. Most of these guys will, because it's once a week. They'll take the shot. Then the trouble with the London game, where it's a long flight and a time change. It's now playing at 9:30 in the morning, not 1 o'clock. So there's a lot of problems by doing this. And unfortunately, it's Minnesota, who's the hottest team in the league. And you're like, fuck, you're fucking me. How can I bet Minnesota in London against Aaron Rodgers? That makes it very difficult. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Again, if you want that, let's recap the gold and silver price, the paper price again. And 26.55, 729. That's good. So that's up to date. 26.55. We're fine. The high for the day is 26.61. So we're okie dokie. Silver 32. But it's not moving. I think it needs like 33 to get to 45, to get to 50, to get to 100. Now, the frustrating thing for most people, and I'll end it like this, is it's easy to buy 500, 1,000 ounces of silver. It's not expensive. But when it starts moving $100 and you got 500 ounces and it moves $100, you just made $50,000, right? $10, you get 5,000, but it moves $100, you get $50,000. That's some serious money. That's the other problem. We're not making our money. So gold goes up 100 and you got 50 ounces, you made $5,000. But when silver, you got 500 ounces and it goes up 100, you made $50,000. And that's really the frustrating part about silver, keeping it at this low price. You're really preventing a lot of people from making a lot of money. This is the problem. So it's frustrating, I know, and you want to buy more because it's going to go. And it's just the demand. It's a pure economic. There's limited supply and there's high demand, but the price isn't high. But we know if you have that formula, limited supply, high demand, you're going to have a high price. And that's what we're fighting. What should be happening and what is happening are two different things. And what's going to make the silver price go up is brics. The gold price will go up so much and people will realize silver's money, they'll start buying it. But again, it's got to be bought at COMEX. We can go to the gold store and I can go buy 100 ounces, is not going to move the price. It is not in the market, it is in the derivatives. So how do we get the derivatives to go up? I don't know. This is the problem with silver. That gold with the Basel III is not having the same issue. That's why it keeps going. 26.55. We should now see, now it's what, 7:30. The US is done about 5:45. So now it's China's turn to start going. That's why you see it kind of sideways now. Is China is US is left, China's coming in. And then normally between now and 2 in the morning, you'll see this zoom up, which is China buying it, going, we want gold. It's nice and cheap at 26.55. So we're looking forward to October 22nd. What will brics reprice gold at? Hopefully it'll be variable and not physical. So the higher the price, the more their dollars are worth, which is what I think they'll do. You don't have to, that's how Zimbabwe's got it. You don't have to peg it to, okay, it's 3,500 and that's where it's going to stay. You don't have to do that. You can just say, this is what it's worth. And then if it falls below, and get it to a free market. and then it'll explode because people realize the dollar's going out. So there's two things going on here. People have to realize the dollar is worthless, and gold and silver are the lifeboats. We know it. It's not a guess, not an opinion. It's a fact. That's what it is. So how do people, how are they going to learn this stuff? Well, they're going to, well, the dollar will go out because all the other countries don't want it. Hey, Luke. Well, I was just looking at it, 26.55 for gold and 32.03 for silver as of now. And as I was saying, the Basel III forces the gold price up, and all the central banks are buying the gold. What'll force silver up is nobody can afford gold anymore. So when you're talking about your $4 million friend who doesn't see why he's got monopoly money, and then we're talking, well, when he realizes it, he'll start buying a lot of gold. He won't be able to find it. So it's like the Titanic movie. The guy who was giving him money to get him on the lifeboat, and he says, "This ain't going to help you now. We're going under." And that's what's happening. So the gold is worthless, or the dollar's worthless. But until you realize it, you're going to hold it. I don't know why. It's clearly trade it. So take $1 million and buy $1 million worth of gold. Did you spend a dime? No. Are you in the same position? No. You're much better off the $1 million of gold than $1 million of paper. But how do you explain that to people, right? They don't understand that concept. And if you need to, you can sell the gold and get the dollars back. Believe me, the gold stores will be happy to take your gold. The question is, do they have any gold for you to take? That's what's going to be the problem. So when the boat's finally sinking and everybody's looking, it's going to be exactly the Titanic. As they're looking for the lifeboat, there isn't any. You're looking to buy gold, it isn't going to be there. The silver, maybe there'll be a little silver. There seems to be more silver out there than gold, but there's much stronger demand for the gold right now. So they'll start looking for gold. It'll be too expensive, so people will run into silver. But we need a free market price of it, not this price fixed derivative JP Morgan price. Luke, now I am seeing your messages right now. Many of those people still have full confidence in the Federal Reserve note. They will find out soon. Well, because they don't understand. What are you going to do? They don't understand. It's like, why are these field goal kickers making 60-yard kicks? They don't understand the ball's juiced. It's wound tighter, whatever it is. It's like golf. The ball goes farther. I don't know if you could do that in tennis, but in golf, the ball goes, they're hitting 325-yard drives that Jack Nicklaus would hit 260. If Jack Nicklaus played with this ball, he'd be hitting them 400. So it's different equipment. But do people ask why? I remember that interview. Do you understand why gold's 2,000 an ounce? And the guy just looked at me and said, no. Aren't you curious? I should have walked out of the meeting at that point. You're too stupid to work for. Are you not curious why gold's 2,000 an ounce? Do you understand how gold works and why not? Do you not think it's important? Well, he's going to be wishing he knew. He's going to be wishing that I answered it for him. My buddy Luke, my buddy is the smartest financial man in the world. Just ask him. That's like the Don Rickles joke where he would go, "Oh, Robert De Niro, he's a great actor. Just ask him. He's the best actor. Just ask him. He'll tell you he's the best actor." Well, but you've tried. There's nothing you can do. It's just a matter of him going, okay, why would I get out of paper? And that's the point. Well, why don't you get out of $1 million and buy $1 million worth of gold? And then if you need to, you turn the gold back into dollars. Why not do that? That seems logical. If the dollar doesn't collapse, then you've got the gold and you can return it for dollars. No risk. The risk is keeping the money in dollars, not changing it to gold. That's your risk. The risk is the dollar. And, you keep printing it and now it's coming back, right? China dumps some more. Japan's dump because they need money, but they don't want U.S. need. They need China and Japan money, right? So they are dumping the dollar. They're selling. Actually, what they're doing is they're dumping the dollars and buying gold with it. Why gold? If gold isn't worth anything, why are they buying gold? Why is the gold price going up? Oh, well, we're all too stupid to understand that. So, I mean, that's really it. And it's totally that's the point. You've got to understand what it is, but you got to be smart enough to ask the question. Why is gold 2650, 2655 today? Why is it that high? I didn't think it had a value. I don't know who that is. Well, why does it have that value? This is the problem, and that's really what the point is. Um, so I mean that's it. I mean you're really trying to get that point. Why is it? You got to ask the question. It's the same in football. A team that gets 20 points a game and now it goes up to 50. Well, what happened? How did they score 50 and they only get 20 a game? And that's what you need to look at. And that's what you look at in the football in the beginning. I don't know what the team is. I see they score 50, 60 points. Okay, what's going on? You look at the box score. Oh, they got a new quarterback. Okay. That's what you're looking at. And that's the point. So that's the whole issue. And that's the key to it. Why? And so you got to ask why are central banks buying gold? They're not buying Bitcoin. They're not buying euros. They're not buying British pounds. They're buying gold. They're dumping their dollars to buy gold. So the question is why? And you find out because the dollar's been printed and it's not the petrodollar anymore and it doesn't have value. Nobody wants it. Well, okay, if you can read that, then why do I want to hold it? Why does your friend with $4 million want to hold it when central banks all over the world are dumping it? So even if you don't understand it, just use logic and go, well, why are they dumping it? And then I explain it to you because it's worthless. Because if you print all these dollars, they have no value because you can't just, if it's not backed by gold, this is absolutely worthless. It's a piece of paper with a 5 on it and some Greek thing. It's absolutely worthless. And then you try to, I'm going to Italy. I'll take the $5. What will it buy me? A stick of gum, maybe, if I'm lucky. I doubt it'll buy me coffee. I mean, thank God we got free breakfast with the room, but it's not going to buy me anything. That's what you have to understand. So it's funny. Jenna wants to rent a car. She says, "Why don't you rent a car and pick me up at the airport? Because I'm going to be 90 minutes away at the hotel, and I really don't know where I'm driving to, and I don't know if I'll be able to read the sign that says airport or where to pick you up, and then I will have to drive back. So no, take the driver. I'd like to be there, but this is not Barcelona or Berlin." Barcelona, I waited for her because my flight came in 2 or 3 hours ahead. So I just waited for her to get there. But why would I? I'm not driving. I'm not renting a car and driving it. I can't read the signs and I don't know where the fuck I'm going. No, that's not my cup of tea. Luke, how about the federal response to these floods? Give Ukraine 600 or 60 billion. Give the people who lost their homes 750 each. What a slap in the face. Is this country a joke anymore or what? This country is run by George Soros and it's pathetic. BlackRock's buying all Ukraine. What are they going to do? Come out with new houses? They're going to build houses in the Ukraine for whom? Who's going to have money for them? Jenna's got no money. She can't afford a house and she already has her apartment. So she's already paid for it. So she's got her apartment. She's not going to buy a BlackRock at 10 times the value. Nobody's going to buy it. It's going to cost them a lot of money to make it. You won't be able to get it. Well, everybody's going to be renting. That's not how it works there. So yeah, the U.S. looks pretty bad, and this whole war is ridiculous. What do we want a nuclear war with Russia? Is that what we're headed for? Then just send a nuke. Ignore all this shit. Just send the nuke, and they'll send one back, and that'll be the end. Then you don't have to admit you fucked up with the dollars. It's all about hiding the fact that they inflated the money to nothing. That's what they're trying. They don't want to expose it, so they're let's have a war. We'll blame Putin on it. It's Putin's fault. The inflation was there, but no, these guys are so stupid. They're now saying, "Oh, inflation's down to 2%. Oh, look, we can vote for Kamala Harris because she look at the economy. It's only 2%, so it's the economy's fine." Yeah, the inflation's at least you can't even measure it in percent. I would say 50, 60%. Because you can't you don't measure it in prices, and you don't measure it year over year, so it's much higher. How much is the dollar worth is the inflation, and it's worth nothing. But people can't just raise price. You can't just go and raise the price of tuna fish to $20 a can, even though that's probably what they need. But in dollars, you can't do it, so you can't really see that the inflation's there. But I'm noticing it. I'm going to Myers, and everything. My broccoli's up, my cauliflower's up. I see it. And that's all you. Everything's, everything used to be $1 at the grocery store, then $2. Now everything's like $4. I buy eggs, $3.99. I buy my pita bread, $3.89. I mean, it's a joke. Half and half, $3.89 for a little, just a liter of it. So anyway, that's the problem. Luke, it's such a joke all around. Anyone with a lick of a brain can see. Yes, if they use logic and they choose to look. When I'm in the locker room saying that the dollar's worthless, I get all these dirty looks and people don't want to believe me. It's not my opinion. This is not my opinion. This is what is happening. I saw the Titanic hit the iceberg. It is sinking. It's not like my opinion. I think it'll sink. It's sinking. It is not my opinion this is worthless. It is worthless. The dollar is worthless. It's not my opinion this is going to $1,000. It's fact. Same thing with gold. It's not an opinion that it's going to do it. It is. It just gets to a free market. Luke, the whole financial system as we know it has to change. No, what needs to change is this. We've got to back it by gold. If we back it by gold, the whole financial system's fine. These derivatives are bullshit, but I don't know if you can do it if you back it, because the whole banking thing is all a bunch of derivatives and options. There is no real money that is there. So if we have a gold-backed currency, can you do derivatives? I don't know. Can you do options? I don't know. But there's no keeper of it. And that's the thing. It's all going to explode because it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's Bernie Madoff at his finest. So again, it's, I'm going to be in Madoff. Well, how do you make money, Bernie? I ain't telling you. If you ask me that, I'm not going to let you in. Oh, well, I want the 15%. I don't care how you do it. Even if it's a Ponzi scheme, it's still, I get 15%. I'm so happy. That's how stupid people are. Me, I want to know how it is. And if you don't tell me how it is, I ain't investing in you. So anyway, that's what's going on. Bank of America may cause a banking uproar, House of Cards. Yeah, there's apparently everybody's account's zero in Bank of America. There's a bank run going on there, which will lead to other bank runs. I went to my bank. I had to put money in for the trip. I had to tell them I'm going to be in Italy, so don't block it if I use the ATM. So she noted it in my account. The credit cards are different because they'll just send you an email. Did you make this purchase? And you'll say yes. And then they're fine with it, especially Italy. When I went to Romania, they started blocking my cards, even after I told them I was going to Romania. But when I go to even Ukraine, I don't think I had a problem. It was only like Romania. But in the Ukraine, I was fine. In Barcelona and all these places, I was fine. But I did call them and they said, no, we'll send you an email and just confirm. And if you say no, well, then we'll stop it. I'm like, okay. So Jenna asked me for more money yesterday. I says, I got to pay rent. Yeah, well, I need money to live. Well, I just sent you money. Maybe spend it. Don't think of, well, I'll just go to Howard for more money. Why don't you try thinking, I got to be careful. I can't spend all, I got to be careful with it. So anyway, it's crazy. But yeah, Bank of America's in trouble. All these companies laying off people, IBM, GM, FedEx, they're all laying off people. And it's all because people aren't buying the product, because people don't have money to buy the product because of inflation. The money isn't worth as much. So it takes more money to buy the same goods. That's the inflation. And therefore you buy less because you make the same amount, even though you're getting paid in this bullshit toilet paper. But if costs go up, if it costs me $1 for an Oreo, okay, I can buy 10 of them. Now you make the price 2, I can only buy 5 of them. And if I can only buy 5, then I can't buy other things, because I could buy 5 for $5 and then have $5 left to buy Chips Ahoy. But now it's more expensive. It takes my whole 10 goes to the Oreos. I can't buy Chips Ahoy. So they start laying off people because they can't make sales. That's why you're in business. Luke, I'm reading all your stuff today, Luke. When will silver go to 1,000? How long does that take, in your opinion? Well, right now it's still being held by the COMEX, right? They're still keeping it. And then China and India are buying all this silver from the mines. So it's not really being recorded in COMEX. It'll be when the demand's there and COMEX doesn't have any, and then it's just going to blow up, right? It'll just be, well, there's no silver, there's no gold available. We need it, we order it. So it's like, why is gold going up now? Because they need it. The demand's there. So people don't want to sell it. So they raise the price, then they sell it. So if I'm not going to sell silver at $30 an ounce, but if you raise it 1,000, yeah, I might sell 10 ounces if that's the case. And then I go from there. So that's really the issue. When it gets to that point is when it jumps to 1,000. I can't give you a date. I have no idea. But I can tell you when the demand, which is there now, just outseeds the supply by that much. So we don't have any silver now. And eventually they're going to need it, and they're going to buy it from the mines. And then somehow that we'll start using that price or the Shanghai Gold Exchange price when brics comes out. And then you'll watch it zoom, because it's the demand will make the price go that high. So that's pretty soon, because they keep wanting it for these solar panels and Tomahawk missiles and everything else. So they're trying to keep the price. The other thing will be when gold gets so high, people will need to get out of the dollar. So take your friend, he's got 4 million toilet paper and he wants gold, but you can't find it. And gold's 10,000 an ounce, but silver is sitting there at $40 an ounce. So he starts buying millions of dollars worth of silver because it's 40. Well, that'll push the price up, because now it's like, well, we don't have, okay, yeah, I'll sell them some, but I'll sell them at $500 an ounce. So the demand from all these different sources will push the price up. Again, I can't tell you, because it's not a free market price. It's like asking me if this Mahomes card's $1,000, asking me, well, when is it going to be worth 5,000? I don't know. You can't really tell it. Like Joe Montana, his rookie card I bought for $100. Now it's worth 125,000. At what point did it go through the moon? I don't know. If you asked me when I bought it for 100, well, when do you think it'll go to 125,000? I couldn't have answered it. But as the grading came in, and so it changed, and now it's a PSA 10, and people realize how limited it is, because most of the centering sucked in 1981 tops, and now so to find a 10 is very rare. Now you see the high price, so you really don't. it doesn't work like it's a football game where it's or a baseball, it's 9 innings and that's it. So it's hard to say. I would think you just play it by year. Let's see what happens in October, the end of the year. Um, and then once it breaks 50 and heads to 100, then it's on its way. Then you'll start seeing it go to 150, 200 because people don't believe it'll go past 50. That's how naive they are and how stupid they are. But once it starts moving, then it'll move. So we'll see. Apparently, once we go past 32.75, we go to 40. Well, that's what I thought with Mark McGuire. I think he set a price, and once we jump it, then the derivatives are gone and it just shoots up. Sort of like gold going from 25 to 26.50. I mean, once it got over 26, it's 26.50, and once it gets up, it'll go to 27. So with silver, it's the same. We got to get it to 50, then to 100, then to 5. So as it shoots up, that's what'll happen. But we got to get it out of COMEX first. Luke, once we break 50, it can go fast up, up, and up. Well, yeah, it should be. Silver back over 32, getting close. Yeah, silver's getting close. You still have, they are guarding the dollar going, no, because think about the war. The banks want you in stocks, real estate trust, and in the money in the bank. They want you to keep money and keep it in the system. So if the gold and silver go up too much, what are you going to do? You're going to go and you're going to go buy 100, 500, 1,000 ounces of this. And it's out of the system now. I am not buying stock with this. I am not buying a real estate trust or an annuity with this. And this ain't going in the bank. So they don't want us in it because of the competition for stocks and bonds and real estate trust and annuities. All these products they make a fortune on because they fuck everybody over, and they're all in paper. So they don't want you in gold because there's nothing. They don't gain anything. If we all have 1,000 ounces of gold, they can't touch it. It's ours. We keep it. We lock it up. How are they going to make money? That's the real battle, is the paper Titanic ship fighting us, because if they keep us down, people won't have the demand for it. And so you think, oh, it doesn't go up. But now that gold's 26.50, everybody's like, now what do we do? We're trying to keep the price down, but China's going, fuck, you're going to price it at 26.50. I'm going to buy 20 tons of it. So they keep buying the gold at this low price. Their price target's 3 and then 35 for brics. And silver is a little bit different still, but breaking. They're all going to the mines to buy the silver. And COMEX doesn't have any silver, and yet people want it, and they're just backed up. So at what point does the COMEX and JP Morgan need to start buying silver to cover the thing? But because Basel III is only on gold and not silver, so Basel III says you got to settle it. China wants the gold that you just did the derivative on. You gotta do it, and it's not in silver. So that's what's slowing silver up. We need a Basel III. We need something where we start getting it where they have to pay the silver, and right now they don't. But hopefully that comes soon. And again, with all the solar panels that China's doing and India's doing and Saudi Arabia is doing, that will create this huge demand for silver, and it'll blow up COMEX because they don't have any. So therefore, they just, well, we owe it to you. We owe it to you. We'll pay you. We owe it, but they never pay, and they're 1,000 tons short or 5,000 tons short COMEX. They don't have it. So why do we use COMEX to price it? Well, we're trying to keep the price down so we keep everybody in the stock market. Look how high the stock market is. Such bullshit. But that's the problem. If silver was at $500 an ounce, do you think the stock market would be high? Who'd be in it? Everybody would be in silver and gold. Nobody would be in the stock market, because we want to get rich, and we're going to get rich because we're going to watch Amazon go up $100 every day, and we're going to make rich, even though it's overpriced and even though it's manipulated. It doesn't matter. Amazon just keeps going up. So does Apple. It just keeps going up, and that's really the illusion that people are under. Well, I don't know how it does. It's like Madoff. I don't know, but I keep getting 15%. And then when he goes to jail and it's a Ponzi scheme, people are crying. Oh, I lost all my money. Well, if you're that stupid, then you get what you deserve. If you would have realized he's just manipulating it, you would have sold your stuff and gotten out once you realized it. But you wanted to keep going. You wanted to say, well, I don't know how he does it, but I keep making 15%, so that's fine with me. And this is the problem. And I'll tell you the truth, I really don't understand what's wrong with the Madoff Ponzi scheme. The people did get the 15%. It's different in the crypto coin. She's fucked over everybody with this one coin, and nobody made any money on it. At least in Madoff, people were making their 15%. So everybody was happy. They're all getting paid. So I really didn't understand what the problem was. Okay, it's all fantasy. He's really not investing it, but he's getting money in to pay you, and you're getting 15% for years. What's the problem? So that's the thing. If you're getting your money, there's no problem. If you're not getting the money is where the problem is. So in OneCoin and the Sam Bankman-Friedman and Jim the Anvil Neinhardt people, that's a problem. They scammed you and you didn't get your money. They promised you to get rich quick. It's amazing how stupid people are. They keep falling for this get rich quick scheme that I don't understand. Why are they doing it? Oh, I can get rich quick. I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what? I can get rich, so I'm going to do it. Really? You think that's what's happening? It's like these coaches on 4th and 2 going, well, the odds say I should go for it. Do the odds tell you what happens if you don't make it? Oh, no, I only see that I make it 51% of the time, so I'm going to go for it. And you realize if you don't make it, you lose the game. Does that enter your mind? They're not looking at the other end of it. They're only looking at, well, the odds say I should go for it. Really? And you trust the odds, of course, because they're real. You trust that. And they're against every team, not your team, not the strong defensive team. It's just that. I mean, it's such bullshit. What is this? Oh, okay. I was wondering what that shiny thing is. So yes, we will see silver go when people need gold. It's too expensive. They'll go to silver. And I'm telling you, buy silver now because it's going to go up. And if you wait, you won't be able to find it or afford it like with gold. You're getting very limited to find it and affording it. And I'm talking the average Joe. I'm not talking about people with $4 million, but even them, you have $4 million. How do you get $4 million worth of gold? You can't. So yeah, your friend, we'll take him to Capitol Grill and let him pay $4 million. Yeah, it's all in monopoly money. God almighty. Luke, looks like the gold BTC ratio is about to break out in favor of gold. It's been in a 10-year decline, BTC outperforming gold. Well, again, it's manipulated and Bitcoin's not. And now Bitcoin's on its way down. And again, it's priced in dollars. So when the dollar goes out, Bitcoin will have no value. On the other hand, gold and silver doesn't need the dollar. So when the dollar goes out, gold and silver goes up. Because now we need it and we need it to price everything. But nothing's going to be priced in Bitcoin because it's not real. Somebody asked me about it in the locker room today, and I go, what is it? It's digital. It's nothing. It's thin air. There is nothing. If you can't hold it in your hand, and you can't hold it in your hand, what can be the value of a Bitcoin when there's nothing there? That's why I never bought it. I go, what is it? It's not gold. It's not backed by gold. Oh, it's digital gold. How is it digital gold? At what point is it digital gold? You're just saying that, but it's bullshit. It's like saying it's digital silver. Well, this is real silver. I don't know what digital silver is. Digital gold. That's a con man, that Spectre guy. He's just a con man telling you to buy it because the only way he makes money is if it goes up. The only way it goes up if people buy it. Oh, buy it and hold it. Don't sell it. You never want to sell it. Believe me, he'll be the first one selling it if it went to 100,000. But see, I'm not interested in things like that, Luke. The gold Bitcoin ratio, I don't really care. I see gold at 26.55. That's what I'm looking at. It's like the CPI index and the interest rates. I don't care. It's meaningless data. All that matters is how much dollars are printed. How much are what's the value of the dollar? Oh, it's worthless. Okay, that's all I care about. What do I care about? Inflation, the CPI, the inflation rate. The inflation is huge. It doesn't go down because you've inflated the supply of money. You haven't lowered the supply, right? So at what point? So let's say it's 150 trillion. Did you lower the amount of the inflated dollars? Is there now 140 trillion? If you've done that, then you've lowered the inflation. But if you haven't done that, you haven't lowered the inflation. Right? That's what it is. That's what it is. So they're all measuring. It's just stupid. Oh, the CPI. Oh, the interest. We're going to lower the interest rate. That'll help the inflation. How? How is that lowering the supply of money? What a bunch of, this is the government we're in, one idiot after another. You're only out of this mess is the gold-backed currency, and yet these guys would never do it because they're all Keynesians, they're all communists, and that's who's running the U.S. George Soros and the Chinese. So we're really fucked here, but as long as we understand the game, we can get out of the game, right? Oh, we're in the gold. We're in gold. It's fine. Anyway, I think that's about it. Thursday night, football game's on, but I don't know what channel it's on. I think it's Prime. Well, the fuck if I'm going to buy Prime to watch Tampa Bay and Atlanta. That ain't going to happen. Or the college game. How you have baseball and it's not on, at Fox or ABC, it's just incredibly stupid. What are you doing? No wonder its popularity's down. You don't have the game on. You can't see the players. Why would you have an interest in it? So you don't have an interest because you don't see the game. Well, that was the whole point of having it on TV, was to show people the game, not to make money trying to sell it on Apple and Peacock, and people aren't going to buy it because I'm not going to pay to watch the game. It's not worth it. The game sucks. I'm not going to pay. Anyway, I think that's about it. Anything else, Luke? www.teaserking.com. And see, that's why I like the comments. It leads us down a different path, and I answer his questions. Anyway, that's about it. So have a good night. Football tomorrow morning. My picks are posted. I have, I think, 3 different lock games, so it's like 6 teams. Should be a good weekend. Last week was a good weekend. Pros, I went 9-1. It's funny how a guy points out my percentage, but doesn't point it out on Sunday when it's 90%. I don't hear from him, so I hate people like that. I post all my history, so we don't need you to broadcast it. They can go to Teaserking, they can see my history, and they can check out what I did. It's all right there. Anyway, so yes, let's look for silver to finally break through. Again, brics, October 22nd. It's the 3rd, 10th, 17th. It's less than 3 weeks away. I will be to Italy and back on the 16th. I'll be back so I can enjoy the fireworks. I don't know what we're going to do here, but I need to buy more silver before then. I want to buy more gold, but I got to be patient. Anyway, have a good day, everybody, and take care. Enjoy. www.teaserking.com. Luke, take care. Go Steelers. Beat Navy. All right. Ciao, everybody. Have a good night.